along to the next instalment of Business Risk Mitigation Week here on Property Tribes. We're on location at the Landlord Investment Show, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sean Hooker. And Sean, I thought you'd be a really good person to talk to on this topic, because there are so many risks facing landlords. There always has been, but it seems that it's getting even more challenging for landlords in the current environment. And there's actually a lot that landlords can do to mitigate risk, and they should be looking at that.
No, absolutely, Vanessa. You come to a show like this, and we did a panel session, and of course, people from the floor were telling us about their bad news stories, and I always just turn around and say, due diligence throughout the process, it falls as much on you as on the professionals that you employ. So the first thing I would say is that if you are going to use a letting agent, you make sure that they tick the boxes for what you want. The minimum they have to be is a member of a redress scheme. So look out for the sticker or ask to see the certificate for the redress scheme. There's the Property Redress Scheme. There's the Property Ombudsman. If they take deposits, have they protected deposit in a legitimate government scheme? There's My Deposits, DPS and TDS. Check on that one there. Then start digging a little bit deeper. Always get a management agreement. The number of landlords that I deal with and complaints that haven't got what they've actually contracted to pay for. They don't know what they're paying for. They've gone out and said, well, I paid for full management, but they haven't seen what's been defined as full management. What's the liabilities and what have you actually contracted with on these people? Of course, there are some good trade organisations, but it's not mandatory to be a member of a trade organisation. And for some businesses, it may not be the right thing for them. But basically, you want to ask some probing questions about their expertise and their history. Don't just go on price. Have a look and see what you're actually paying for, and make sure that you've then got the insurances that you need. So make sure you've got the right home insurance, because your average home insurance won't cover you for buy to let. Make sure that you check that it's going to be mandatory as of April, but whether the agent you've got has got client money protection. That's very, very important. That will be an insurance that will protect the money if that business goes into liquidation, and you'll be left high and dry. So you've got to check this thing there. Make sure that you. Another good thing to buy is rent guarantee insurance, which comes with legal expenses, and that will cover you in the event of if your tenant then is evicted from the property and you need to pay the legal costs and you're out of money on the rent. So there's a whole host of things there and products that people are not just trying to sell you these things. These things are parts of your business. They're part of your risk management. So do yourself a checklist and just go through and say, tick, tick, tick. If they don't tick all the boxes, don't use them. Go and find an agent that will tick the boxes. And if you're doing your self-management, make sure that you apply the same rigorousness to your regime as well. Don't cut corners, okay? If you cut the corners because you don't know, that will be no excuse. Not knowing is no excuse, and you will end up out of pocket.
Well, that is awesome advice, I have to say. And you mentioned due diligence, which is absolutely paramount to mitigating risk, whether you're buying a property deal, whether you're doing due diligence on a prospective tenant, whether you're doing due diligence on a lettings agent. They all mitigate risk. But of course, landlord life can throw us some curveballs. The most robust tenant referencing can still end with a delinquent tenant, and as you rightly pointed out, there's actually almost nothing that you can't insure against in the property sector, is there? You've got your rent guarantee insurance, you can have officers and directors insurance, you can have landlord liability insurance, and it's one of those things that is far, far better to have it and never need it than need it and not have it. And I think landlords perhaps are underinsured?
They're more than definitely in a lot of cases underinsured. And I know, with the fee ban coming in, there's pressures now because some of the costs that the agents, will transfer over to the landlord, and the landlords are saying all anybody wants is to pay that. But you are protecting yourself. So do your homework and ask what is this for, and look at the, why that is worth doing it. Another thing I've just thought about is the number of landlords that don't do adequate inventories and inspections on the property. They think they're cutting some corners on that, and they think, well, actually, that's another little saving. But then when it comes to a deposit return, and now with the new legislation on fitness of homes, they have no grounds for defence because they haven't got an audit trail of the condition of the property. So all of these things there, it doesn't happen often, but you only need one really bad incident to wipe out years of hard work. So that's what mitigating your risks over a period of time. It's your investment. This is your income. Make sure that you're adequately covered and for all the eventualities.
I can't agree with you more. And when we talk about insurance, we're talking a few £100s. If a property burnt down, you're talking perhaps hundreds of thousands of pounds. And really, it's actually, do you know what, Sean? It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. I like to sleep at night.
Yes.
You don't want that call that a tenant has died in your property or there's been a fire or something of that nature. It's far better to have that insurance and be covered against that eventuality, because it will cost an awful lot more than the insurance.
No, absolutely. And as I say, even if you use an agent, it's your property or your business. You keep a close eye on what they're delivering on that. So it's not just about less and forget and I contracted them to do field management. You've got to still take an active view. So ask the right questions, and make sure that you have that list in front of you, that you can ask those right questions. And there's lots of advice on your website, and we provide a lot of advice on the sort of questions that you need to ask. You're not the expert when you're employing a letting agent, but you need to know the right inquiries to make so that you are getting the full value and protection that you need.
So we've really talked about some of the ways to mitigate risk. I mean, we've talked about insurance, we've talked about due diligence. Clearly, coming out to an event such as this and educating yourself, that's a big part of it as well, because I think it's treating it like a business and spending time on your business, not just in it, to make sure that you're up to speed with everything and that you've got everything covered.
Yeah, and to be fair, this event, was free to landlords to attend. Coming onto your website is free, but not everything that that's free is good. So make sure you invest in the right products that you need. Use reputable companies to do that. So absolutely, the better educated you are as a landlord, the better you are going to manage your risk, and the better you're going to sleep at night. Absolutely.
Well, it's been very interesting talking to you,
Thank you,
Sean.
Vanessa.
Thank you for those insights, because Sean wears a number of hats in the Property Redress Scheme, Hamilton Fraser Insurance. So you've got a very good insight into all of this, and of course you hear a lot of the horror stories when it has gone wrong for landlords.
No, absolutely, and your heart goes out when you see these cases, and and a lot of money, but also it's the anguish, the stress, it can make you ill. So being a landlord should be an enjoyable experience and a rewarding experience, but it only takes one little incident to just upset that. But at least if you've got then the mitigating insurances and other stuff there, that you can move on from that, and ensure that if you want to go back into the market, that that you've learnt your lessons, but you've got some form of compensation for it. It doesn't happen often.
But we want to be prepared. Life throws curveballs. There's some black swans out there, and you just don't know what might come at you from a curveball. So you have got to really give this topic some attention, as we have been doing on Property Tribes. So it's great to have your contribution.
Pleasure as usual.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you very much for this.
And stay tuned, because we'll have more coming at you, all about mitigating risk in property. So keep tuning in to propertytribes.com.